Welcome to Heat Up Your Retreats with Amanda Hietter.
Welcome back to the Heat Up Your Retreats podcast, where we help leaders, coaches, ministry leaders, and retreat hosts create transformational experiences that change lives. Today, I am honored to be joined by my friend and my coach, Paul Ybarra, founder of Kingdom Linked Network. Paul has dedicated his life to helping people discover their God-given purpose, build authentic community, and lead from a place of faith and obedience. Through his coaching, ministry, and leadership, he has helped countless entrepreneurs and leaders activate what God has called them to do. One of the things that I admire most about Paul is his heart for bringing people together. In a world that often encourages competition, Paul teaches collaboration, connection, and kingdom impact. Today, we're going to talk about the intersection of God, leadership, and retreats. We are going to explore how retreats can become sacred spaces where people hear God's voice, experience transformation, and step boldly into their next assignment. Paul, welcome to the Heat Up Your Retreats podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm just super excited. I'm hearing the intro and I'm like, who is this guy? I got to meet this guy. I love the energy. I'm ready to roll.
I am ready to roll. And friends, like I love to just kind of do things off the cuff, but we literally just got off a coaching call. Paul is my business coach, life coach, spiritual coach. I almost want to say health coach in ways. And so like we've already had a great over hour of conversation. So we're ready to just dive in, talk things, talk about God, our favorite subject of all. So real quick, I want to dive into my first question for you, Paul. You spend a lot of time helping leaders discover and activate their God-given purpose. Why do you believe stepping away from everyday life through a retreat creates such a powerful environment for hearing God's voice?
In one word, I would say Sabbath. It's that place of retreat, right? Going a little bit deeper through that, Jesus himself retreated a lot. There were times where he had just did ministry, they're feeding the 5,000, doing all the things. And what did he say? Okay, we're done. I'm going up to the mountain. I'll meet you on the other side. I'm gonna go spend time with the Father. So it's that replenishment. It's that retreat with ourselves to ponder, but then also with God to really tap into those questions that we may have, or sometimes even just that burnout stage. You follow what I'm saying? So it's that replenishment, it's that renew, it's that reset, and it's that recharge. So, in a nutshell, that's what I would say to that question.
And something I always say all the time with my audience knows I love God is if we say we want to be like Jesus, we need to literally be like Jesus. And Jesus, he went away. There was even a time he went away for like 40 days. And
Mhm.
sometimes we need that. I don't want to say like take a 40-day retreat. Maybe you need it. I don't know. Like I would love to help you plan that, not gonna lie. But we all need to take that time. And I've been learning that myself. So I agree with you 100%. Sabbath, that is so important. We have to have that time to take care of ourselves so we can pour back into others.
Well, just thinking about this and just kind of talking it through, when I took that whole hiatus in April off of social media, right? Just want to break that down really quick for those that may need that 40 days. What that did for me was it literally got me in the clearest posture that I've ever been, ever. Why? Because anxiety levels went down, stress levels went down, and knowing that the powerful part about it was my podcast doubled in downloads when I wasn't showing up for that month. And even in that month, I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to do a Proverbs every day and yada, yada, yada. And God's like, that's not what I told you to do. Like, I needed you to retreat. And
Amen.
so I just want to encourage those out there that are like, but how do I take a 40-day retreat? You just do it.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to completely disconnect from all your business, but you can batch some things. You can pre-schedule some things.
Hmm.
Get alone. Get alone in your own thoughts. the first 2 or 3 days was like a detox for me. It was literally like me going, how do I do this without my phone? Like I
Right.
literally had to put my phone in another room. But after the third or fourth day, I'm like, this is actually kind of cool.
Mm.
So I just want to encourage those out there that are wondering, how do I do that? You just jump in and you just allow God to just replenish you through that time.
So good, so good. I've honestly been feeling a tug at my heart to do something like that. So this is just more confirmation because I'm not gonna lie, I've got my phone sitting right here. I bet you every single person that's even listening to this has their phone probably within arm's reach or not too far away. This world has become a place where we have to immediately respond to everything. Like it's you think back even 15, 20 years ago, like we still had everybody did snail mail, like there was the dial-up internet was slower to get on. Could you imagine if people had to do that now? Like the kids nowadays would throw a conniption fit. But things have changed so much, and I feel personally, just from like our conversation yesterday, a lot of us turn to AI for things. Like we want that immediate response, and we forget that who we should be turning to at all times for any questions that we have and the answers that we're looking for and the clarity we're looking for is God. And when you go on these retreats, I encourage people to put their phone away because that is a distraction. Now, I'm a single mom, so it's not super easy to just put my phone away. But even like putting it on silent or putting it on, like on a mode where only your kids' notifications can come through, your spouse's notifications come through, because those are people that's your family, they come first, of course. But like any other distractions, you could take that time. And I have been learning myself. Yesterday, I took that day and I had a day where I explored and I put my phone on personal and I was like, I'm not responding to any clients today. I'm not a heart surgeon. Like, I'm not a brain surgeon. It's not like life or death. If someone it needs a little bit of assistance with something, like I have my team, like I have that backup. And it was really nice to just be. And that's what retreats are for, is to just be and to be able to come back to that place and reset and have that time with God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love everything that you're breaking down because without that, we're just going to run a race that we can't complete. And
Hmm.
it's that spinning wheels method. It's that repetitive, gotta. How many here that are listening have said that this morning? I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta, all the gottas. But at the end
Yep.
of the day, it's like, can I just be? And can I just walk away from some things? Can I go enjoy the sunlight? Especially right now, it's summertime. Like
Mm.
go out. If you're a gardener, go plant some tomatoes. That's my jam. I love to garden every year. That's the highlight of my springtime. I have 10 tomato plants this year. Usually I do like 3 or 4. 10 tomato plants. I've got Carolina Reapers. I've got jalapeno. I got all the stuff. It's like everywhere. But that's what helps me retreat, even in the moments that I'm not on a retreat. It's those solitude moments of, I'm going to go tend the garden. I'm going to go look, see what's blossoming. I want to go fertilize. I'm going to do this, go for a walk, all the things. So I love what you're saying. This is so vital, especially those who are kingdom, to understand that Jesus himself walked away and just went and had a conversation with God. So good stuff.
Amen. Amen. So I want to dive a little bit into the sabbatical with your cell phone. So can you share a little bit more about that time during your sabbatical and how it radically might have shifted like a decision or a vision or a calling during that time? Because obviously God spoke to you. I know we've had these conversations. So can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Even to this day, right now. So I started April 1st and we're what, June 11th. Even to this day, my notifications to my socials is off. So before it was like something pop up, boom, oh, I gotta go check. I gotta check metrics, gotta do this, analytics. And I wasn't checking analytics. Let's just be honest. I wasn't checking metrics. I was checking dopamine hit. Like, oh, somebody liked my post. Oh, somebody's commenting. Oh, let me go do this. Let me go do that. When I shut that thing off, again, it was like, wow. And I got really clear. even to this day, like I'll go on my phone, but what I've done, Amanda, is I've literally really like scheduled that in. Now it's not time blocked, like, okay, go on your phone and go scroll. No, it's like if I'm waiting for a video to render or if I'm waiting in between calls, I'm not gonna lie. I'll pick up my phone and say, okay, what's going on? Let me just do that scroll, look at some funny stuff. I love videos about staffy pit bulls because I have one, and they're just hilarious. I'm sharing them with friends, I'm sharing them with my wife. I'm just busting up. But then when it's time for the call, I put it away. And what I've also been doing is in my conversations one to one, like in a restaurant or at church or in ministry, whatever, I will literally turn the phone upside down. So
Hmm.
if there's an email that comes in or if there's a text that comes in, that's not my moment right now. And that has allowed me to, like you said, we want to respond quickly. But what I've done, especially those who aren't my clients, is I've had to retrain them. I'll see it come through. I won't respond until I have the moment to respond, right? So it's like you said, I'm not a surgeon. I can't fix everything. I'm not in there doing heart surgery. So I've had to retrain people and they're like, "Well, you didn't get back to me till like 2 or 3 hours later." I'm like, "I was busy."
Right.
Yeah, but normally like you've always texted back and I'm like, "Okay, so how can I help you?" They're like, well, we just, kind of figured it out. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yes.
Like you can figure this out. Everything is figure outable. And the funny thing about this is they're adults. It's like
Hmm.
you can do hard things. And
Yes.
that's what I tell my grandbaby. That's what she tells me. Pops, I could do hard things. So when I tell them that, I know it's funny, but I'm like, you can do hard things. And they're like, yeah, but and I'm like, but you figured it out. And I think we're in a day and age right now where everything is so fast. We want the
Hmm.
microwave answer.
Yep.
We want to go to chat. We want to go to Claude. We want to go to all these other areas versus pausing and saying, "Okay, God, I need an answer.
Yep.
What is that answer right now?" Now, I use Claude, I use chat, I use all of that. But I had to break away from that as well because I have it on my phone, I have it on my iPad, and I have it on my laptop.
Oh my.
I had to break away to be like, no, you know what? Right now, I'm just going to sit and I'm going to hear God.
Amen.
So, so that sabbatical from the phone is a tool. And I want people to understand this. If you're a carpenter, do you constantly carry a hammer or a
No.
measuring tape
No.
or a tool belt? No. You go do the job, and guess what? Unleash the belt, you put the tool bag in the truck, and then you go inside. The same with our phone. It's like you said, when I wake up, I'm what's the first thing that I'm grabbing? My phone and I put it in my pocket. And sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't have to, this thing should not be glued to me.
Right.
It should not be glued to me. So what I've got into practice, I'm not proficient at it 100%, but I'll go downstairs, I'll leave my phone on the counter, and I'll either read a book, read a chapter, get into my Proverbs, all of that, and then go for a walk with the inspirational podcast on. And then I get to work, right? I'm still working through all of that, but my screen time went from like, I can't remember the numbers. I'm like, I was on my phone that much, and I look at it, and it's like, you've been down 85% since last week. And I'm like,
So good.
that's awesome. So that's what I got for that.
So, so good. So good. That's a testament to all of us. I know I need to be on my phone less. We always think that, oh, I don't check Instagram that much. But if you go to your analytics, you'd be surprised at how many times you open up that app because we're looking for that dopamine hit. And honestly, our dopamine hit should be time with God, reading our Bible, some praise and worship, but we turn to an idol. And that's another thing that is coming a realization for me is that our phones have become our idols, where we're putting them first, where we immediately turn to those for that hit. And we always think of idols as being like money or, idolizing, having a nice house. But your phone can be your idol, 100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it.
Okay, so what are some mistakes that you see Christian leaders making when they're planning retreats, and how can they create more space for the Holy Spirit to move?
The biggest mistake is, and I've done it, they take their work with them. Now, let's just be 100. You're still running a business. I get that. If you're a startup, you're still going to have to check in and do all of that. But the biggest mistake is you're going somewhere secluded. Oh, I'm going to go get some solitude with God, and I'm going to do this and that. Okay, cool. But then you have a whole bag, a backpack with your laptop, an iPad, a phone, AirPods, all of the things, and you get there, and then you're like, what do I do now? And it's like, if you didn't bring that, you would find something to do,
Right.
right? So, my encouragement for those who are taking that retreat and get into solitude, if you are going to take your laptop with you, schedule that in. Like literally say, you know what? I'm going to come, because there are times where you go somewhere to get inspiration to write a book, create a program, a cohort, a mastermind. You're like, I'm going to get along with God. I'm going to get on my computer and I'm going to allow him to speak. But time block that out and say, you know what? I'm going to spend 2 hours and the rest putting it away. And I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to go to the pool. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to do all the things, because we as entrepreneurs, I don't know about you, but I have books and I've got books and I've got books. And I'm like, ooh, I bought this book. And then you read like one chapter, and then 3 months later, like, and then you buy another book. Like, this is the one. This has
Right.
got to be the one. We have to minimize that. So I literally yesterday with my coach, we were talking. He's like, what happened with you reading the books? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start back up today. So I did yesterday, read a chapter, 20 minutes. A chapter typically takes you 20 minutes to read. That's it. This morning, got up, got my coffee, did my thing, opened the book, almost done with chapter 2. So it's those small things. Instead of scrolling, I'm reading a book. So I think the biggest mistake is taking your work, but with no structure on how you're going to apply the work into that day.
So good. So, so good. I know anytime I'm traveling, even if it's a vacation, and with me being a travel agent, I don't feel like any vacation is a true vacation. But even if it is a vacation, I bring my laptop, I bring my iPad, I have my phone, I've got, all the things with me. And I'm always like, I gotta get a little bit of work in. And sometimes we have to rest in the fact that God is going to provide during our sabbatical, during our time of just spending time with Jesus and just being with family. Like you said, your podcast grew like 100% pretty much, right? Like it went from
Mhm.
like 100 and some odd followers to like over 300 followers. And that's crazy to think that you just trusting and leaning into God. Actually, it's not crazy, but it is crazy in our mindset to think, well, I got to do everything to make things happen. Like we always think that. And it's like, no, we have to trust that God's going to do the things. And God did do the things. And so that in itself is a huge miracle. So, so,
Amen.
so good. I want to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about Kingdom Linked Network. So that's built, I know, on connection, community, and collaboration. So how do retreats help cultivate deeper kingdom relationships that continue long after the event is over?
Well, with a retreat, I think the best thing that a person can do to fulfill that connection, community, collaboration is, if you're going to create like a mastermind, or you're going to create something for your elite clients, your VIP clients, right? Say, hey, we're going to do a retreat. We're going to have, limited spaces. It's going to be 5, right? We're going to do an Airbnb, whatever. That brings that connection between the 5 versus just Zoom, right? Then through those conversations, now I'm, helping them build that business and build that framework. But then they're also getting all the feedback from everyone else, because you're in the environment. You're
Yeah.
in that environment. It's that safe space of like, oh my God, I never even thought of that, versus being on Zoom. Because let's let's be honest, people that are in KLN sometimes, I see them. They'll either turn the camera off or they're looking up like this and they're scrolling and they're typing and they're answering emails. And I'm like, this is not what we're here for,
Right.
right? Now, I don't say nothing to them. I'm like, okay, everyone's taking care of business. But at the end of the day, it's like, this is where the community is being built. This is where the relationships are being nurtured. This is where real conversations with real people wanting real
Mm-hmm.
results from a real Jesus come in. And
Yep.
so for anybody that's not in a network or even part of KLN, which is fine, find the thing that you're going to be able to do to get other kingdom business owners together, whether it's a coffee shop, a library, something to where you're able to bounce ideas off of one another because there's enough business for everyone to go around. So
So
that's my thoughts on that.
so so true. And from the network that you've built, because I'm actually a part of it as well, the ladies that are a part of it, they are phenomenal. And like you've created a space. And this is where, as retreat leaders, knowing what God is calling you to do and creating that community first, that is so key. And that's what you've done. And you've created a space where there's connection, there's collaboration, there's kingdom work being done. And that is so, so commendable. And honestly, like for someone that's looking to host a retreat in the future, one thing I always say is start with a community. And so if you don't have that, start with one. Start with one connection and start building from there. So I want to do a little bit of a lightning round because I know we're getting low on time. So I want to ask you a question, and this is a new thing I'm implementing into my podcast for all of my listeners, where I'm going to do like a lightning round of like I ask you a question, I get one sentence answer, and we're just going to bounce through it. All right,
Come
so
on.
let's go, Paul. I know you got some good stuff. So what's one book every Christian leader should read?
Atomic Habits.
I knew it. I knew it. What's one daily habit that keeps you connected to God?
A walk.
What's one piece of advice you have given your younger self? You would have given your younger self. I can't talk today.
One piece of advice I give my younger self. Don't give up.
So good.
Keep going.
So good. What is one thing God is teaching you right now?
Trust at a higher level.
So good. And what does success look like from a kingdom perspective?
Every failure that I've ever had is a huge part of my success.
So, so good. All right, my
Can
closing
I break that
question.
down really quick?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So this is a revelation God gave me, and I'm so glad that you asked me that question because typically it's like big house, big this, big programs, big bank account, that's success. But this is about 12 years ago, God revealed it to me. No, 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 no. You're looking at this wrong. Your success is every failure that led you up to where you are today because every idea was a good idea, but there's one of two things that was disconnected in the idea that made it feel like a failure. Number one was either follow through to complete it, or number two, just a few tweaks, but you got discouraged because it didn't work exactly the way you thought it would. And there's times where God will bring that idea back to be like, oh, I've matured. Now I can implement these two things that didn't work before. Now that thing works.
Mm.
So that's what I mean by all your failures become your success. Revisit them and look at them and say, you know what? That was a doggone good idea. Because if we call it a God idea, why did we leave it in the back? If God gave it to you, you just missed a few steps.
Yep.
So I know we're short on time. I just had to share that piece.
I love that. So real quick, Paul, because I know my listeners, like if they're anything like me, they're going to want to connect with you. So where can they connect with you and maybe just give a little bit of a insight of what Kingdom Leaders Network is so that they can connect with you, be a part of your community as well?
Absolutely. So I think the whole concept of KLN, you've already shared that. It's the connection, community, collaboration. We meet weekly. We come together. Sometimes we have the hot seat. Sometimes we're helping each other collaborate. But it's really me bringing those kingdom principles after we've had community. As you know, Amanda, there's been times where it's like crying and, oh my God, I'm struggling with this or that, right? And so it's building that. But then I bring like a 20-minute teaching. We break that down and it helps empower you to your next level. So you can find me on all socials at Paul Builds People. My website is just about to be published, and that's under paulybarra.com. I would love to come and speak to your people. There's a way to connect with me there, videos, YouTube, all the things. So that's how you connect with me. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. Well, Paul, thank you so much for joining us today, sharing your wisdom, your heart for God's people, and your passion for helping leaders walk boldly in their calling. Friends, if today's conversation has encouraged you, challenged you, or gave you a fresh perspective on what God can do through retreats, be sure to connect with Paul Ybarra and learn more about the incredible work that he is doing through Kingdom Linked Network. And if you're a leader, a coach, ministry leader, entrepreneur, or someone who feels called to create transformational experiences, I want to encourage you, stop waiting for perfect. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Retreats are more than events. They are opportunities for people to encounter God, gain clarity, find community, and step into their purpose. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Heat Up Your Retreats podcast. Until next time, keep creating spaces where people can encounter God, experience transformation, and walk boldly into their God-given purpose. Have a blessed day, friends. Be sure to follow, share, and leave a review so more leaders like you can heat things up too. Until next time, keep dreaming big, keep planning bold, and keep heating up your retreats.